the Bliss Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Steven here with our co-host Tula Sugresa, and we've got a guest, Jolita Brilliant, who we're going to introduce in a second. And so many businesses begin with one person solving a problem.
I can't hear. Am I supposed to hear?
We have lost our audio. Jolita's having a problem hearing. Let me, I'll continue doing the intro.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, let's keep going here.
Now I can hear.
You can hear now?
Oh,
okay.
No, I can't hear you. Cannot hear you.
Uh-oh.
Let me try something. Steven, continue the intro. I'm going to try
I
something.
can hear Tulio. I cannot hear Steven.
Oh, Tulio, go ahead, do the intro.
Okay. Okay, maybe Steven will come back. Sometimes it does that. It's weird, huh? So thanks for... Where were you, Steven? Okay, you were in the introduction.
Take it from the top.
Take it from the... well, many businesses begin with one person solving a problem, serving a client, developing a craft. And to expand, the founder must learn how to build a team, create systems, protect service quality, develop leaders, and eventually allow the business to grow beyond their own individual effort. Today, we're diving into this stage of business and talking about that transition, which can be especially challenging in wellness, where the value of the business is deeply connected to personal care and the relationship between practitioner and client. Today, our guest is Jolita Brilliant Sakmanaite. Okay, did I get that right? Okay.
Yes.
Who is the founder of Brilliant Massage and Skin and author of From Solo Therapist to Spa Empire. Jolita began with an independent massage practice in Burlington, Vermont in 2017, and she has since grown Brilliant Massage and Skin into a multi-location wellness brand offering customized massage therapy, skincare, and related services with a franchise location operating in Stowe. Originally from Lithuania, Jolita moved to the United States at the age of 19 after losing both of her parents. Her journey from studying classical piano to building a wellness company has been shaped by resilience, entrepreneurship, and a desire to help other professionals create meaningful businesses of their own. Through Brilliant Massage and Skin and her book, Jolita is now sharing the lessons she's learned while moving from individual practitioner to multi-location founder and franchisor. Her vision is not simply to grow a spa brand, but to create a community of entrepreneurs in the wellness industry. Jolita, welcome to the Bliss Business Podcast. Hopefully, Steven, you can hear him again. Let's
check, Steven.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Coming in good.
Thanks,
it always happens when we press the button to go. That's when things go.
Things blow up every time.
It's the magic button.
Did I do something wrong here? Okay.
No, you're doing great.
So Jolita, your story began as a solo massage therapist, and today you're kind of building this growing spa and franchise brand. What was the moment you realized you were no longer simply kind of creating a practice, but you were building a business that could kind of grow beyond you?
Well, when I got into offering massage therapy services after I went to massage school, thinking I'll just do it as a part-time gig until I figure out what I really want to do after I stop pursuing my music career. I've always been passionate about wellness, but then once I started doing massage therapy, I saw the demand, and I worked hard to market myself, and then actually got so good at marketing that I couldn't take on all the customers that wanted to come see me, and you can only see so many people in a day. So the next logical step was to hire people. And then I started to learn more about systems and processes and how to scale business. I probably read mostly all the business books there is on Audible by now. But I just I know some people, they just will step back from marketing and they'll be happy as a solo practitioner, but I actually enjoyed that, the ability to grow the business and get other people into this field and help them and create a place that not only I would enjoy working, but they would enjoy working also.
Now, Jolita, there are many talented people, practitioners, who struggle transitioning into entrepreneurship because they were trained to deliver service, not necessarily manage people, manage finances, marketing, or operation. This is even true with doctors. Quite often, they're good practitioners, but don't know how to run a business. Many of them end up pursuing MBAs after they're doctors just so they can learn business skills. But what was the most difficult lessons you had to learn in transitioning from that single practitioner to a business owner?
I think the first employee was the hardest. And then once you have one, then it gets easier. It's the people that are afraid maybe of the unknown, or they worried about like the management aspect. But you just have, if that's what you want, if you have the vision to create a community and business just besides like serving your own needs, so to speak, it's really, you have to be a giver to be an entrepreneur, because you also switching from an hourly wage, with the being you're like a solo practice doctor or solo massage therapist, esthetician, even like a personal trainer. When you switch to more so like a entrepreneur and the business owner, now you're not really paid per hour per se, but per your output, how much you can grow and scale, how much more people you can have good jobs, how much more people you can serve. So that mindset shift has to happen, that detachment, becoming more like an investor. Because as an entrepreneur, you are also an investor. Sometimes, because you have to invest upfront, you have to get that bigger space. You have to pay for marketing, usually before you see those returns. So there's that mindset shift that has to happen, because when you're just, even when you're 9 to 5 working for somebody else, you come perform, you get paid, you leave, you don't have to think about anything else. But when you are now business owner, you're more like an investor.
I want to circle back to something that Tula mentioned in the intro. So you lost both your parents. How has kind of your personal resilience, influenced your entrepreneurial resilience, and that whole life coming at you fast at a young age?
Yes. So I was 16 when my mom passed away. She had cancer. She's been having stomach issues for probably in a decade before then. Um, and that was traumatic, but I still had my dad. And then unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 19, suddenly. He did had congenital heart condition, but then also he overdosed on alcohol. He on occasion was struggling with binge drinking, and that's what happened. So that was much harder for me, the second loss, more so than just losing my mother. But I believe everything happens for a reason, even like horrible things that happen, because everybody of us probably have, if you live life, you're gonna have horrible things happen to you. It's like how you react to it and how you carry yourself. I tried to learn from I don't drink alcohol. I don't never like was into doing any drugs or coping that way. For me was the opposite. I got really interested in preventative medicine and eating healthy, exercising, wellness. So that was like a drawing power for me, to almost like cautionary tale. Look what happens if you don't care of yourself, your body. Like my mom possibly could have been saved if she got the surgery in time, but she kept delaying. She was afraid of the surgery, and then she was hoping it would get better somehow on its own. And so, so both of my parents almost like, I feel like maybe could have been prevented, but it also made me independent. I already spent a lot of time with my grandmother even before my parents passed away because of my parents working. I grew up mostly with her. So I'm a single child too, so I knew how to occupy myself. But maybe life just we are born in a certain circumstance that we just handle somehow. But it definitely made me better also entrepreneur, because nothing is until you're alive, no matter even if you fail or make mistakes, you can get out of it. The only thing that's certain is death. So, it's worth a shot. It's worth to try to go after your dreams, because you got one life, and sometimes that life is short. So you really have to take those chances and not be afraid.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that, taking those chances, and sometimes life throwing you crazy curveballs and things like that, where you just decide, what, why not try this? Why not, move to another country, chase a dream, building a business.
Yeah. And, it was my mother's dream for me to come move to US. She wanted me to be a professional musician, and I was following that dream, and I played classical piano. I did very well at it. But then moving to a new country, it was pretty challenging. It was challenging time for me, especially first 5 years. And I switched more so to my passion, which was wellness. I actually did like a personal trainer certificate. I studied nutrition for a little bit. And then eventually I got to massage therapy.
Why do you think, like, sometimes wellness professionals will sometimes undervalue their work?
Yeah. Well, I think because they feel like for some reason that they should be these empaths that don't need any money, and they're supposed to help everybody. But we live in a material world. You have to feed your kids, you have to have roof under your head. So learning business, it's not selfish, it's not going after money. Some people have bad relationships with money, maybe from the way they were brought up, or from even like online media sometimes, portrays, oh, this rich person is bad, so like I don't want to be bad, because then you block yourself from going after creating wealth for you and your family. So I think it's just the mindset blocks that maybe is it's really evil, actually. I think, some things people need to overcome, because there's nothing to be ashamed to charge for your services and try to grow, because you're serving more when you're growing. Like rising tide rises all ships. So if you're doing better, then people in your community doing better. When you doing better, you're not stealing from everybody. You're doing it in an honest way with integrity. People voluntarily exchange for your time, for your services, for your employees' services, and everybody is able to buy food and have good life.
On this show, one of the things we like to talk about is kind of, like that ripple effect, that you're mentioning, like with the community, and building that. When you scale a business, it's, how can you scale kind of that kindness, that care, all those factors? As a solo practitioner, you're able to do that, right? You're able to handle all that and focus on that. But now you've got, different locations, different employees, teammates that you're working with in there. And now you've got to kind of build systems out that will kind of scale the same care and compassion.
Yes.
And,
yeah, this is such an important point. This is like one of the most important things when you scale. Well, it's easy. I wouldn't say, I guess it's easy for everybody, but it's much easier to have a 5-star overall reputation on your Google when you are just like one practitioner and you have
Yeah.
this personal relationship with each customer and you're able to address everything properly. When you scale, you got to really make sure you put those systems in place. For me, the goal of scaling was to maintain our 5-star reputation, no matter how many locations we open. Okay, maybe 4.9, 4.8, but we never want to go below 4.5. I mean, mishaps are going to happen when you have bigger team, not because of somebody's intentionally trying to be bad. I mean, it's just going to happen on occasion, like human error. Maybe the time got somehow messed up. Maybe they forgot some sort of tool or something. So, but we have systems in place also how to address any glitches in the system that maybe we need to change the products that we're using. Maybe we need to, and we always, will train our staff to always find ways, if something does go wrong, how do we make it right for the customer? We give them the power. You can give them free add-on. You can give them even like a discount on your discretion. I mean, to a certain level, right? But or talk to our receptionist. We have the call center offsite. So talk to our manager, receptionist, and to owner personally, whatever that comes up, so we can address anything. But that's beyond maybe your judgment, but we also give them the ability to act on those things, and they do. And that prevents from that culture and the quality of service and the customer trust from going down. Because I've seen, like, in brands that become big and very corporate, sometimes they have, well, this is the policy and this is what it is, and we're not going to budge about it. And then customer never comes back or leaves a bad review, and that you don't get new customers because now others are reading about this debacle that happened. If you just maybe were more flexible about their situation, yes, you might have 24-hour cancellation policy, but if their flight got delayed, it's out of their control. They wanted to be there, but they cannot. Can you give them credit for next time? Like, there's like different ways that you can address these issues.
I think one of the biggest draws of franchising is the fact that you buy into a system that's been proven. So if you repeat it, you can expect similar results. Now, what's interesting is with hyper localized services like wellness, it's always a challenge to provide very distinct services that are for the market. But you take it to another level. Like your company emphasizes customized massage skincare rather than treating every client the same. So how do you create that consistency across locations while still allowing those practitioners to respond to each individual's needs? Because that's a really challenging thing that many franchise struggle with. So I'm curious, building on the system, how you go about doing that.
Yeah, so it is our differentiation actually as a brand. If you were to ask, like, what separates you from, let's say, some legacy brands, spas, franchises out there, is that we do pride ourselves in brilliant bespoke massage, brilliant bespoke facials. The way I look at it, because when I was a practitioner, I felt like my expertise was sufficient where I could make a professional judgment in the treatment room without having to follow some sort of exact, because each person is so individual. So yes, maybe you are doing like a facial for acne, but then there is nuances that sometimes you need to pick like a different mask or something like that. So we don't lock our estheticians and massage therapists. Or if somebody, they noted that, well, I would like a deep tissue, and they got on a table and the therapist started working on them, and then they discovered that well, actually what they can tolerate is not a deep tissue. They're actually, pain tolerance is light. They just maybe didn't know what to select, or they heard somewhere that they're supposed to get deep tissue. So it's like very personalized. So they're not locked in, well, now, oh, you paid for this one, that's what you're getting. No, we can change that throughout the session. They can adjust and customize those treatments. But it also, you got to make sure you hire people that are competent, and I trust that they are going to be competent. Of course, that if the ones they're not, we've had in the past, we let people go if they cannot, adequately do good judgment. But it's like a dentist, if you go to dentist, then there's like, yes, they followed the certain protocol, but then again, they're gonna have maybe their own way, the way they approach a certain cavity or certain issue.
What processes do you think you might have resisted creating at first, as you're going through this kind of journey, and then you realize, oh no, I really need to take care of, this and this? Are there any that kind of stuck out to you during this kind of journey as you're expanding from solo practitioner to franchises?
Well, we are focusing a lot also right now on technology and automation. I mean, I've always been very big in technology and automation, even that some people told me like, well, I had one employee, I think like, oh, I think it's now almost too much technology, but I don't think that it's, I think that it's just gonna get more as AI advances, and if we can automate like mundane tasks, then we should. And we should put on the center the hands-on energy and tasks that cannot be replaced by robots and AI, which is the human touch and the energy and presence and that customized experience. That's where humans are. But everything else is, we are working on smooth experience also when it comes on user ends, like the way they book the appointment, the reminders, the automation for sending them the directions and sending them requests for reviews, things like that. So that's one thing. And then culture, again, maintaining good workplace culture is also it's a job. It's a work that has to be done as well. So we have weekly team Zoom calls to address wins, that therapists had. Let's say maybe they sign up the customers for membership, got good reviews, different topics, maybe some challenges about how to perform this treatment or any suggestions for improvement. So we try to stay connected with the team, because that is important as well, that I maybe didn't know as much when I first started, that people really need that and want that. They're not solo practitioners. They work in a team because they want to be in a good team.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've got an audience question. Let's go ahead and bring that up and see what we've got. So this is from a LinkedIn user. What role does community play in client loyalty?
I think it plays a huge role. We've been able to grow because from the beginning, I focused asking for reviews and feedback from customers. And then as I hired people, I coach them how to ask for feedback, and then other people in the community, when they go look for spas or massage or facial waxing services, they go read. It's like the best word of mouth. But then also going out in local events like Chamber of Commerce. I've done a lot of BNI first couple years when we opened, and participating in like local giving gift cards for charities, engaging with local community. That is a big part, because people want to see local businesses do well. They want to support local businesses, but you have to get yourself known. You have to be in front of their eyes so they know that you're there. And once they know, they will refer their family members. If they have good experience, they will refer their friends and spouses, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're doing, very intentional, requires being very purposeful. And so one of the things we try to understand is the role that being that purposeful plays in helping you to expand your business. You said that you want more people to join the Brilliant community. And your franchise model is designed to help wellness professionals move towards business ownership. So those are two distinct and unified efforts and purposeful efforts. Why did franchising become the right path for expanding both the brand and your larger purpose?
Well, it is that it opens up opportunity for people to own a spa that otherwise wouldn't be able to. Through franchising, they can just plug and play our system. They can copy what works what worked here in similar in their local market. You can't just go and copy and know the insider secrets just by looking at any business. So franchise really opens up that back end infrastructure, and they have a mentor, somebody they can call anytime, a guardrails, and they can use our call center, our marketing teams. So it makes it much more fail proof for them. So that is that means it's also delivering more of these services to more people if we can allow more owners to be out there and grow their spas, which I believe that almost everybody would probably benefit from a regular massage. And also the other reason why I chose this vehicle, besides just the mission delivering more of these services to different communities and allowing people to become business owners, it is that I cannot, I cannot be in every local market myself, and having like a person that believes in what we have to offer and brand, and also has skin in the game, not just a manager. It's I feel like it's a win for everybody.
Yeah. So in your book, From Solo Therapist to Spa Empire, you kind of openly share like, hard learned lessons and, things like that. Why is it important to make that knowledge, do you think, that you felt like you wanted to tell people about that and make it available to others?
Well, because people sometimes think that it's easier than it is. I mean, sometimes people know that they might make mistakes or that business ownership is hard, but a lot of times they might not know that and don't realize that some mistakes can be costly. It consumes a lot of time. So just wanted to share that they're not, if they done mistakes themselves, they're not alone, because everybody that owned business made mistakes, and it's a part of a journey. But also through franchising, they could minimize those mistakes and save time, because paying the franchise fee is not, it's what your time is worth. Do you want to trial and error and figure out yourself and maybe not be able to make it at all? Like a lot of businesses unfortunately fail, a lot of startups fail, but a lot of franchises survive because they do have that something to model after already, and the support and systems with the technology. And it varies franchise by franchise and what type of industry it is, but for the most part, they all get that blueprint.
Now, wellness businesses, they often become trusted parts of their local community. It's a very localized business, as we mentioned before. But how can franchise owners create that sense of belonging rather than just operating like a simple service location? How do you help them make that distinction, support them through that distinction? And then you also said, in terms of your knowledge and things you've learned, how do you go about transferring that knowledge and things that you've learned to help them maintain that sense of belonging in the community and not just be another service location?
Yeah. Well, I would hope that they really believe in the services that the business delivers, and hopefully they're a fan of the services themselves, and they can go out in the community, go out to the chambers of commerce, and share maybe even on Facebook with their friends how it impacted their life, and just be vulnerable and not hide behind the brand. You have to show your face if you want your business to have more personality. It doesn't matter what brand. It could be brand that you created, you came up with the name. It could be brand that you bought up, but in your local community, people are gonna know who owns that location. Even we have certain businesses, different franchises, let's say even like a restaurant, that if you're active, people will know, well, yeah, it's this brand, but this person owns it. And this person is creating the internal culture there and hiring employees and being a leader in their community. So I think it's important to not be afraid to put yourself out there.
Create the village, the old village. Everybody knew each other. Everybody knew the shop.
Yeah, go to other businesses too. Leave the business cards, maybe special offers, because people want to support each other. And if you're not afraid to go out and share what you have to offer, what the business has to offer, and especially if they're interested, they value those services, you can build a community.
What should a wellness professional understand before becoming a franchise owner?
Well, it is a system, but not everything is going to be done for you. But then also you have to be able to follow the system. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. There's a lot of help, but there's also, you might need to go and meet a contractor yourself when you're like building out the store. You might need to go meet us and look at sites, for choosing where to lease, where you want to open. You will have to sometimes address your staff, so we won't be there running business for you. You are the business owner. We are there to provide you the technology. You don't need to go and hire a developer to create like a website, because we already have that, or create or learn how Google Ads work. We will be setting those up for you and running. So it's a lot, there's a lot of help and time saving that happens with franchise. And certain franchise are more hands-off, some are less hands-on, and some you can make it as little or as much hands-on or off as you want to. Let's say if you got a couple locations, maybe at that point you hire a manager and you can step back a little bit more. And with our call center, it's also a little different. It's a lot of it can be done remote. So, but at the beginning, you will have to put, you ideally, you want to be present and participate and learn about, be confident, know the services that are offered, learn the best practices like hiring and be confident in those as well.
Nice. I have just a few questions before I hand you back to Stephen's final question, our wonderful, consistent question about love. How do you go, just three questions. How do you identify who will protect the culture and the brand? How do you go about doing that? You've said a lot of things that really speak to having a culture and a brand that's very specific, very community driven. When people come to you to open a franchise, how do you identify if this is the right person?
Yes. Well, for example, so my first franchisee, she's a former employee, and I knew she would be great because she was really passionate about the industry. And I mean, granted, she was a massage therapist for 20 years. So I knew that she was doing it not just for the money, but because she really believes in it. So not to say that doing it for the money is wrong. Obviously, she also wants return on investment and she needs to make money. But, is there additional reason why you looking into this brand than just the net profit line? Because I mean, you could probably go into some construction business that probably make more. I don't know. But why are you looking into this specifically? Are you passionate about the lifestyle? You passionate about getting these services yourself anytime you want? That's one of the benefits when you own a spa. Um, it's to me then I really look at why are they doing this?
Yeah. And that would be my motivation, getting the services anytime. Now, how can franchise systems empower owners without removing their individuality? Because you've also spoken about this bespoke approach, which supports people's individuality. So for other franchise owners who struggle with this, how can they go about creating a good empowered ownership while still maintaining people's individuality?
Well, the benefit of our industry also is that we hire licensed professionals. So in most states, massage therapy is licensed. And aesthetics, I believe every 50 state is all the states are licensed. So we have to understand that the therapists are professionals. And of course, you still have to do your due diligence. You do have like a test, demo when you hire them, and then maybe like a trial period, see if they're good with customers and if there's matching, good with team culture and good fit. But it is you just have to let go that you don't want to micromanage people. Nobody likes to be micromanaged. And if there's something you feel like they're going too much outside of the guidelines, then of course you want to correct that. But if most therapists that graduated massage school and passed the exam, they are going to understand what like a fusion of different styles massage is. Like they can mix and match deep tissue with Swedish and sports, or adding add-ons like hot stones, cupping, maybe doing ashiatsu. And of course we train, their team would be able to join our weekly. All the system would have, like, we train therapists in best practice intake forms, what questions to ask customers when you are getting ready for their session. There's intake forms, but then there's also verbal conversation that happens prior to the session. So we train therapists on best practices, what not to say or say, what after the appointment, what to recommend or not recommend. So there is training that happens as well within our system. And they also are licensed, though they should be able to understand these things.
All right. So you talked a little bit about being passionate, about what you're doing. That kind of transitions into this question we ask every one of our visitors on here is what role should love play in business, do you think?
I think, well, I believe you have to love what you do. And I grew this spa brand because I love seeing people coming in stressed out or maybe not doing so great, and then leave with the smile afterwards. And that's what drives me every day. I also like the team culture that we have. I like to be able to provide a workplace for massage therapists and estheticians that they enjoy working at. Of course, you can't make everybody happy 100% every single time, but that's what we strive to have the best possibility for that. So, and even in job descriptions, when we hire massage therapists, estheticians, you gotta love what you do. And most people do that, get into this profession. So as a business owner, hopefully that you love your business, because when you love what you do, you are more successful. You handle setbacks much more patiently, because if something you don't really like, on the first time that something goes wrong, it's more chance that you're gonna be like, no, this is not for me. I'll drop this. This is bad idea. This is like not good. So I think that's why it's like relationship. You love somebody, like your spouse. Even if you have an argument, you love them. You will make up, and then you are fine the next day. So the same with business or kids, right?
Yep. Very true. All right. So for those who want to learn more about you and Brilliant Massage and Skin and your franchise opportunity, your book, where can they find you?
Of course, through the website, brilliantmassageandskin.com. There is a franchise page where you can contact me as well. I offer one-on-one free consultation if you want to learn more about this franchise opportunity. I also offer paid business coaching if the franchise is not necessarily the route you want to go. As well, my book is on Amazon and Audible too. You just search Brilliant Spa Book and it'll come up.
Nice.
Jolita, thank you for joining us, and sharing your story of one of resilience too. I think that especially people will really take a lot from that. Is definitely a powerful story. And to our listeners, thank you again for your questions, and understand, scaling a wellness business doesn't mean removing that personal touch. It means, you can create those systems that build that intention into every routine you have. So
that's our goal.
Yep. Thank you for joining us on the Bliss Business Podcast, and we'll see you next time.